Tuesday morning, 3 callouts on the night shift. You call agency to cover the gaps. Agency cost spikes. Your labor variance for the pay period turns red. Finance flags it. Your director asks about it in the morning update. But here's what else happened while you were managing the staffing problem. Because the unit was stretched, hourly rounding documentation fell behind. A patient fell at 4 a.m. That fall triggered an incident report. Risk management is involved. The family is asking questions. Now you're managing a quality event, a staffing gap, and a financial overage, all stemming from one hard night. This is not an extraordinary week. This is a normal one. The difference between leaders who feel perpetually blindsided and those who navigate these moments with relative steadiness is simple. The steady ones understood the connections before the crisis forced them to manage everything at once. That's what this video's about. Not a pep talk. The actual operational map of how your unit connects to everything else in the building, and what to do about it. Here's a moment you will face, probably in your first few months. Your manager calls you in about your overtime numbers. What's really happening? This isn't personal. It's financial. Budget reports flag any department running over labor targets, and your manager has been asked to address the overage. What arrives as a difficult conversation is actually financial and operational accountability. What you should do. Before any conversation about overtime, pull your staffing data. Know your census trends, your call-out frequency, and exactly what drove the increase. Walk into the meeting with specific information and a plan attached to your explanation. Here's what caused it, and here's what I'm doing differently next period is always the right posture. Not defensiveness, and definitely not silence. Every decision you make as a nurse leader touches at least 2 or 3 other parts of the organization. Let me walk you through exactly how. Finance. Your staffing decisions, overtime, agency use, FTE count. They flow directly into labor cost reports that leadership reviews regularly. Every staffing choice has a financial signature attached to it. Quality and patient safety. Falls, infections, medication errors, core measure compliance. They're tracked against national benchmarks. They reflect what's happening in your unit every single day, whether or not you're aware of the data. Patient flow and throughput. How quickly your team discharges patients directly affects how fast the emergency department can move people. You're part of the patient flow chain, whether you feel that connection or not. Human resources. Every hire, every performance action, every termination requires HR partnership. The relationship you build there either speeds up your team management or creates friction at every turn. Physicians and medical staff. They don't report to nursing leadership, but the quality of your working relationship with them shapes patient outcomes, staff morale, and daily unit function in ways that are hard to overstate. Risk management. When serious things happen, and they will, risk management is your organizational partner. They need to hear from you early, accurately, and completely. That relationship has to be built before the crisis. Regulatory standards. Your unit is always being evaluated against Joint Commission, CMS, and state standards. Survey readiness is how you operate every day, not a mode you enter in preparation. Infection control. Catheter care, hand hygiene, central line protocols. These outcomes live on your unit because that's where the practices either happen consistently or don't. You aren't just managing a unit. You're managing the intersection of clinical care, financial accountability, regulatory compliance, and human performance, simultaneously every shift, without the luxury of focusing on only one at a time. So how do you operate inside that reality without drowning in it? Start here. High reliability means designing your processes so failures are less likely to occur, not just putting better response plans in place for after they happen. And the research on serious patient harm is consistent on one point. Communication failure is the most common contributing factor. Not equipment failure. Not individual incompetence. The way your team transfers information at shift change escalates concerns up the chain and speaks up when something doesn't feel right. That is your primary safety infrastructure. Structure supports safety even when culture is under stress. A consistent daily huddle, a clear escalation path, a standardized handoff tool, defined rapid response criteria. These protect your patients even on the hardest days when everything is stretched. Here's what to take with you from this one. Nursing leadership is a systems role, not a clinical role with extra duties. That distinction changes everything about how you approach the job. Every decision you make touches at least 2 or 3 other parts of the organization. Understanding those connections prevents being blindsided. Communication failure is the leading cause of serious patient harm. Build communication structure into your unit. Don't rely on culture alone to carry it. And improvement is a daily habit. Look at your data every week and make small adjustments before small problems grow.